The federal government has a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau thanks to Senator Elizabeth Warren, who is now a presidential candidate. Back when Elizabeth Warren was a Harvard Law School professor, she decided American consumers needed federal protection from the predatory practices of some of our major banks and financial institutions, as well as the predatory lending companies who target the most financially vulnerable among us, the companies that try to take advantage of newly enlisted members of the American military who are looking for their very first car loan, or companies that specialize in so-called payday loans, short-term loans for a few days or a few weeks that charge exorbitant rates to people who just need some money to make it to their next payday. Those kinds of lenders do everything they can to hide the annual percentage rate of their loans, usually referred to as the APR, the amount of money it costs you per year to borrow. That's the APR, and that's what many lenders do not want you to know. It was Professor Elizabeth Warren's design of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that was included in the 2010 package of legislation passed by Congress with bipartisan support and signed by President Obama, the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Protection Act, it was called. The Trump administration hates consumer protection. Donald Trump, after all, spent a lifetime exploiting consumers in various ways, including defrauding consumers who made the mistake of believing Trump University could improve their lives. 10 days after the 2016 presidential election, Donald Trump was forced to pay Trump University students $25 million after they sued him for fraud. Creators of fraudulent businesses hate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The Trump administration's director of the CFPB, Kathy Kraninger, has no experience in consumer protection and no experience in oversight of the financial services industry, and has dramatically reduced the number of consumer complaints that the CFPB investigates. Director Kraninger ran into more than she could handle last week when it was freshman Congresswoman Katie Porter's turn in a House Financial Services Committee hearing.
Hello, Director. Could you please explain to this committee the difference between an interest rate and an APR?
So the APR is the extrapolation if it were a one-year term in terms of the loan. So that's the calculation that is laid out in TILA in particular.
So if I take the stated interest rate and do the math to deal with the fact that it's annualized, the APR, I would be correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Kraninger, the annual percentage rate, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of the textbook that I wrote, explains that the APR is derived from the finance charge, the amount financed, and the payment schedule. It's a mathematical transformation of those three numbers into the cost of credit expressed
yes.
at a yearly rate.
Simplification, I understand, that you know well.
Well, my concern is whether you know well, ma'am, because you are the one responsible for making sure that American consumers know well when they take on loans. Let's do an example. I'm a single mom. I'm by the side of the road. My car is broken down. I need money right now. I pick up my cell phone. I go to Speedy Cash, an online lender. I'm in California. I have to get to work. I have to have the cash to fix my car to get to work. I can barely read the little disclosure on my phone. The cost at Speedy Cash is, you may want to write this down, $10 per $100 borrowed. I need $200 to fix my car. The origination fee is $20. The term of the loan is 2 weeks, typical, for when I get paid. What is the APR? And if you'd like a calculator, we have one for you.
I understand where you're getting. At the end of the day, the issue is certainly when you actually are able to repay that loan and whether or not you take out an additional loan going through this, and you're certainly short-term, small dollar lending
claiming my time. Ms. Kraninger, I'm asking you what the APR is.
And Katie Porter had to reclaim her time repeatedly because she could not get an answer from Director Kraninger on that simple question of what is the annual percentage rate of the predatory payday loan that Congresswoman Porter just described. And so Congresswoman Porter ended that line of questioning this way.
Reclaiming my time.
One of the other issues that are happening
Reclaiming
in
my
life.
time. I take that as to a no, that you cannot do the calculation, but I'm particularly concerned about this given that you could not even correctly define the APR.
Congresswoman Porter then tweeted the answer to her own question to students at home. The answer is the $20 origination fee is included in the definition of finance charge, so the interest of $20 plus the fee of $20 makes the $40 cost to borrow $200 for 14 days. The answer, 520% would be the APR. Truth in lending law requires APR to include fees, which CFPB director did not know. Like Elizabeth Warren before her, Katie Porter was a law school professor before she became a member of Congress. And it shows every time it's Katie Porter's turn in a hearing room.